All right, what's going on, guys? Rondo's coming at you on another beautiful Saturday afternoon or morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to do yet another Speakers Magazine issue reveal. You know what time it is, so come on in, have a seat, get ready for some great conversation. And again, obviously, as always, we have the amazing, talented PR guru and branding guru and all things guru, editor, founder of Speakers
Code word.
Magazine.
Oh, what is that? No, just kidding.
Nah, you're doing it all the way from Detroit, Michigan. Pam Perry in the
Motown.
building.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Motown. I'm
And
signed to Motown.
Thank you.
and
I
we're
know.
super excited to have our the featured thought leader on the cover of an August 2020 issue of Speakers Magazine. She is an amazing mother, singer, actress, activist, author, Miss Stephanie Mills in the building. Welcome to Black
Hello,
Speakers Network.
everybody.
So, Stephanie, welcome. Super excited about this conversation. We got a bunch of people jumping on as we move forward. I am always really excited to chat anytime we could bring the person that's on. I'm excited about this for a couple of reasons. One, Pam has been such an amazing influence, I think, in this space. And I see you as somebody that kind of sits at the intersection at all these different things. Like you're a speaker, you're a communicator through multiple lenses. But then to be a singer, raising a family on top of that, like you have so many, and we were just talking about politics right before that. So you sit at the intersection of all these things that so prominently impact us as a people. So I'm really looking forward to just talking with you. So again, just thank you for being on.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So Pam, talk to us a little bit about the August issue. You want to hold it up again and just
Yes. The August issue. Now, this right here, this move, this power move. Hey, that is it. That when you did that shot like that, I said, that's it. Remember, I said that's the shot because
Yes,
it is our
yes,
Black year. It is the power that Black people are holding, Black women are holding. And it was like when I saw that shot, I saw immediately everything that's possible for Black people. And I
yes,
know your voice and your heart and what the things that represent with that. I was like, oh my God. And then
yes.
I said, well, how's your book coming? And you said, well, actually, I'm working on it. And
Yeah, and you know what? Today, Pam, I will be finished with it. And
oh
I'm gonna
my God.
and I'm gonna
nice.
send it to you. Yeah, we're
Yes.
working on it later on today. We're finishing up, and then I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh my God. That is it. That is it. And so tell us the name of the book.
The book is Every Child is a Gift.
Yes. Yes.
Every
I
child
love
is a
it.
gift. And I truly, truly believe that. Yes,
Tell
I
us,
truly
tell
believe
us the
that.
story about that your child is a gift. Okay, so I won't say child, but Farad. Tell us
Farad, my
mm,
baby. Well,
yeah,
he's not a baby. He's 19, and he doesn't
right.
like me to
He's
call
gonna be a
him.
baby to us.
Yes, he
I
will
hope he's
always be
watching.
my baby. But it's about me raising a child with special needs, raising a child with Down syndrome, and how I just hit the ground running. And I didn't listen to the stereotypes of doctors or naysayers would say he was going to how he was going to respond, how he was going to react academically, and none of that. I just hit the ground and raised him as a normal child. And I knew his shortcomings. I knew he had delays. I knew it took him longer to do things, but I was determined to raise him as normal as possible, whatever that is. So, and a lot of people bring their children to my shows, children with Down syndrome. So that's what made me decide. And they always ask me questions. So I wanted to put it in a book.
Yes,
Now,
and he wrote his book before you did.
He
I was
sure
gonna say, yeah,
did.
he's an
He
author
sure
too.
did. And Pam, you guys did a wonderful job with it.
Yes, he is one of those things where you raised him in love.
I
Okay, you
raised him
raised
with
him in
a
love.
whole bunch of love, a
Hmm.
love and God and faith. It
Yes.
was God and myself, because his
Hmm.
father is not involved in his life. And I think being a single mom, and there's a lot of single moms out there, I think this book will give them hope.
Yes. Yes.
Now,
At least
now
I hope.
one of the things I love is so the actual cover story for this piece is the power of love, and talking about how you bring it, embody it, and spread it. And you were really transparent in this article. I want to give away like everything's in there. Y'all need to go read it. But you were very transparent about your journey of. I believe you got pregnant at 45, or
Yes.
had him at age 45.
Yes.
Yeah, you said you received a lot of criticism for that.
Well, in 3 months, I didn't tell anybody. The only person I told was my cousin, who went to my doctor's appointments with me all the time. But I was told very early on that my son was going to be special needs and Down syndrome. And I was asked if I wanted to abort. And I said, absolutely not. I didn't care if he had one eye, whatever. He and I were going to rock this world together. And that's how I felt, and that's how I approached raising him.
Oh my God, that book is going to give so much hope. Now, we had talked, Stephanie, really about you being in the business for over 50 years.
Yes.
About maybe that being your first book, because you felt that a lot of people maybe in the industry needed that type of thing because they were getting caught up,
Yes.
for whatever.
And they still are.
Yeah.
You know, I think that they still are getting caught up. And I think in my industry, it's designed kind of to keep the artists away from each other so they can't kind of talk. You know what I'm saying? And tell each other what's going on. And they design you. So sometimes you have to go through a lot of handlers to get to the person because they don't want you, especially a person like me who would totally tell them the truth. It's like I reached out to Megan Stallion when she got hit, but I haven't heard back from her because I really want to talk to her as a older woman telling someone that's coming into the business sort of the things that she should stay away from.
Well, I reached out to her too and haven't heard back. So
yeah,
you did.
Just so you know. Now, I think it's really important point. So can you talk to us a little bit about, so you, by the way, somebody just mentioned that they've been connected with you since the Wiz. So you got some fans on here. Can you talk to us about your just so have you been you've been singing your whole life? Like how
I've been
talk to us a little bit about that.
I've been singing my whole life since I was very young, 9. My first Broadway show, I was like 10. And that was Maggie Flynn. And I sang at the Apollo before that and did the amateur hour. And this is all I've ever known. I've never had what you would call a regular job. This is all I've ever done. So, and I really love what I do. I just think the business part of it and the people that are in it, you just have to watch, because an artist is like, you have what do you call it? Piranhas swimming all around you all the time. So you have to navigate through that and know who to trust and know who not to trust. And there's very, very few people that you can trust, but you must trust your own instinct.
One of the persons you said that you trusted early in your career and you listened to him, he's one of the best orators in the world, best minds, was Louis Farrakhan.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And Louis Farrakhan, my pops, I call him pops, has been in my life since I was 16 years old. And the one thing I come away with pops, out of a lot of things that we've sat down and talked about, and he's instilled in me, that faith, God is the best knower. He always says, as long as you have God, you have everything. And in his speeches, you can hear him say that. He didn't care who didn't like him, who was against him. He knew as long as he had Allah, that he was fine. And that has been proven true for me too.
The last time I saw him speak, well, not live, but streaming, was in February, I believe. Was it February or March?
And he spoke in July 4th.
It was July 4th. Okay, it was July.
Yes, and I was there.
And you were there.
Yes.
I'm watching it on YouTube and I look and I see Farad and I'm like, wait a minute. She is there. I was like, this is
there.
He had the mask on and everything.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, flat-footed, that man spoke for 3 hours straight.
Yes. And it was hot out there.
Oh my God.
It was hot. And he spoke. Pops
Strong.
is strong. Pops is strong. He's a truth teller. That's what I say. He is definitely a truth teller. And they don't like the truth, you know, but he's a truth teller.
Now that's what I think you have. You have a little bit of his spirit on you.
Yes.
When you speak, you are a truth teller. People go follow you on Instagram and that sort of thing. You're gonna tell it.
Yes.
And
because we're too old. I'm too old. I'm 63. You know, I'm too old to try to be politically correct. And I have been politically correct early in my career. And I know that doesn't get you anywhere. You know, now I understand a lot of things about why certain people were winning Grammys or why certain people weren't winning Grammys or our records weren't being played on Black radio the way they should. And it's the systematic racism. I didn't understand it before, but now I see that the whole world we live in was systematically racist, blocking us. They had their foot on our necks.
Were you surprised that The Wiz did as well as it did? Remember, it's like the typical, the Wizard of Oz, typical white, you know, fairy tale, and then you played Dorothy, middle name Dorothea, right? So you had to like play that role,
right?
As well as it. Yeah, Doretha, right?
Yes.
It's like Doretha, like really, and then you go play Dorothy. So
right,
like, it was the Black version of that, and that just took fire. I mean,
it did, but originally I got terrible reviews and they talked terrible about me. But it wasn't until my mom, who was a deaconess at Cornerstone Baptist Church, Ken Harper's mom, who was also a member of a big church in New York, got together and had busloads of their congregation.
Come on now.
You know, and then we did our commercial. Once we did our commercial, then it was over. But they tried to shut us down. They did.
There you go. The Black church got the power.
We don't realize how much power we have if we just stand together, but we still have a lot of crabs in the back. We haven't learned anything. And we can't continue to blame it on, what the white man did or what. No, we have to take responsibility of our own behavior.
Absolutely.
And there's so much self-hate in our community.
Competition. Well, one of the things Brian has done, which is, you could talk about your community, there is a lot of cheering on of each other, a lot of aspiring speakers, people who have a burning message. So Brian, kind of tell a little bit about how this organically came about. And he's a millennial, Stephanie.
I know, he's a baby.
And so one of the things when I first got in touch with him, I said, I like the fact that it's Black speakers. You know, we come from that era, like it's Black and proud. You know, it's like it's gonna be Black.
Yes.
It ain't gonna be people of color. It ain't gonna be African American.
No,
it ain't gonna be all these new names.
African American. It's Black.
Or people of color.
Every year or every 25 years, they want to change our name. Come on.
It's Black. Black is Black.
Yeah, I mean, I can absolutely talk about that, and it really sits at the forefront of some of the things that you're talking about now. But you know, for me, I went to Morgan State University, HBCU, and you know, one of the things about it is that first of all, I had to get over my own like fear of speaking because I'm still an introvert. So like my story all the time is not being able to lead two people in silent prayer, let alone try to move a crowd to a purpose. But I got through that through Toastmasters. I was able to, I started looking out and seeking, like, I'm the type of person, and Pam knows this, like I like learning through community. Like if I'm going to study something, like I don't want to go off in a corner and learn it by myself. I want to get around other people who are doing it and be around people who are a little bit ahead of me, just like you're doing, like reaching out to Meg Thee Stallion. Like I think that's an amazing gesture that more people should embrace, because look at how much tacit knowledge we walk around with every single day from our respective industries. And so as I was looking for communities, I found several that support speakers, but I didn't find any. I was just disappointed with the representation, particularly coming from Morgan State University, where I saw the talent. Like, and Pam is like, I saw the talent, I saw the ambition, but a lot of people, there were people kind of in two categories, Stephanie. There were individuals who either didn't even consider professional speaking as an industry, and they didn't know about it. That's where I was. And then you have people on the other side who legitimately were already speakers. Like, they were already out there doing that. They were getting paid to speak. They had products, they had services, they had coaching programs. They were running traditional businesses or doing really well in academia or corporate America. And if you ask them, hey, are you a speaker? They'd be like, no, I'm not a speaker. You just got to check for, like, so like, I thought it was necessary to start to galvanize the community. And that's why, I started Black Speakers Network. And I wanted to have like the lowest barrier entry as possible. Like, we're not asking for $1,000 to be a part of it. We're not asking you to, the main thing is come in and figure out where you belong. And so, hey, Peppy.
That's my baby.
What's her name? Or he? Is it a he or she?
He. It's Peppy.
Peppy. Oh, hi,
all
Peppy.
Right. Say hi to Stephanie and Brian. Can you get down now? He's very he likes to showboat a lot, so I'm gonna put him down now. Okay. He likes to just say hi, and then it's okay.
Peppy has made a cameo on every single one of our launch events. So it's good.
Everyone.
Yeah. So Stephanie,
Black speakers definitely have what I call more juice, more personality, more soul. I mean, any church on Sunday, I mean, it's just, I don't care whether the woman's saying the announcements or the pastor is praying, they gonna bring it. And so knowing that, it could be why maybe Black speakers are left out of the industry per se. It's $1 billion industry.
But I think it's lucrative, and I think that they keep them out because they don't want them to take away from them. Yeah. It's the same thing how they do with the Grammys, or because I've never been invited. My videos have never been played on MTV or VH1. I was always told that my videos was too Black.
What?
Yes. Always told her videos are too Black. Her song is too Black. Always. And that's their way of keeping you out of it. That's their way of keeping you out of it, because it's a huge business.
And then as soon as they let us in, you know what happens, right?
We take over.
Exactly.
And that's what they don't want.
Right.
That's what they don't want.
It could be Les Brown. It could be Willie Jolly. Any speaker that George Frazier, you let them speak, and then they take over. Right. Amazing.
Now, amazing. So Stephanie, you've been nominated multiple times for multiple Grammys, and you won a Grammy as well as the American Music Award. Can you tell us how it how did it feel to be nominated, and when did it feel like you were finally getting like acknowledgement that we're talking about now, after feeling like you've been like shut out of so many different like forums? Or like how did that experience, how did winning change your perception of how you were perceived in the industry?
Well, I've never felt that I was shut out. I knew that they wouldn't play my video, but I didn't buy into that because I never wanted to be pop. I don't believe in categories of music. My music is music. It's universal. And I've always felt that way. So I go where I'm celebrated. I do not go where I'm tolerated.
There you go.
And my people celebrate me.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't feel left out. They can't make me feel less than. And I didn't feel left out. I want to go. I have every music award there is to have. And it's a wonderful feeling, but it doesn't define me. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't define me, because I believe that my talent, God gave me my talent to sing to everyone. If everyone doesn't like it, that's on them. But I'm going to sing to my people.
Absolutely. Somebody write that. Somebody put that in the comments. It's like
Go where you celebrate,
I'm celebrated,
not
not
where you're
tolerated.
tolerated.
I
Yeah.
go where, and I teach my son that. He'll say that. He'll say, "Mom," I said, "Why? Where do you go? Where I'm celebrated, not where I'm tolerated."
There you go. There you go. That is
It,
it.
Because
do
I don't
you?
want to be anywhere where I won't allow anyone to mistreat me or disrespect me. You
Mhm.
know, and sometimes when you go into these television shows, they have a tendency to talk down to you or treat you a certain way. I never allowed that.
Mhm. Mhm.
No.
Talk about Farad playing that guitar.
Oh, now Farad. Well, first of all, Farad tells me he's famous. And he's famous because he was on the Breakfast Club. You know,
Oh yeah.
people would
There
come up to him
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
say,
yeah. Yeah.
people would come up to him and say, "Aren't you the rapper he loves?" Because he loves Tupac. And so he's been playing. He plays the guitar and he plays a little piano, but he loves the guitar. He loves music because I sang to him even when I was pregnant, and he loves to read. And because I read to him even when I was pregnant and when he was a little baby, I would read all the time. But
Wow.
he absolutely loves music, loves it.
That is something that, and we talked about this before, how there are other parents who have children maybe that are autistic or Down syndrome or cerebral palsy, and there are white organizations, I guess you would say, that are foundations. But you find that when there's an African American or Black, that they tend to not have the access to the resources of those associations.
Absolutely. And that's why my foundation, Love Your Worth, I'm setting up for us, for our community. Because
There
I
you go.
find that a lot of people come up to me and they look for, help or how to raise or whatever. And we don't have the outlets, even though these white organizations have it, but it's really for their own. Even when you see pictures, you see predominantly white children. There's
Right.
a lot of white, Black children that have Down syndrome, and you don't ever see their pictures anywhere.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
and that's okay. We could do our own. I think we should start more now. This is the time for us to really do our own. Stop looking for them to give us a handout. Stop looking for them to give us anything. Let's take our own.
I love that. I love that. So, the name of the foundation is Love Your
Love your worth.
Worth. Love Your
Love
Worth.
your worth.
That's what
That
you're
you
about.
know what you're worth. They're
Mhm.
beautiful children. And I think so many times, and you have to watch these doctors, so many times doctors want to put your children on medication that they do not need. Farad is not on any medication. He's only on one thing that his doctor put him on for his thyroid, and that's it.
Wow.
I have never allowed. And then they say, and even with our children, our regular children in school, all these behavioral problems, they put these children on medication and
Really?
then they supplement. They pay their mothers to put their children on drugs, and that's not right.
Wow. That's part of that systematic, and
That's part of that systematic, and we
then
have
that
to
would be that
stop it.
pipeline to prison type of thing.
Yes, we
Mhm,
have to stop it. We have to
mhm.
stop it. And I go to the schools here and listen to some of these children, and what they say to me is just very, very sad.
Mm, mhm. So this is the thing that you've got to really just, I guess you said this is your platform now.
Yeah, it's in me. I feel like this is really what I've been put here to do, because I even went to the schools to talk to the mothers about putting their children first, not their boyfriends, not their husbands. Put
Mhm,
your children first because they didn't ask to be here. You
mhm,
brought them into this world. So you must be responsible for them.
mhm, mhm. And then there's opportunity for them to, like Farad, write books, play the guitar,
Yes.
piano.
You
Uh,
don't ever know what your child can do if you're not paying attention to them.
mhm, mhm. That is good. That is
Yeah.
good.
You're
Yeah.
nurturing, and that's kind of true to our theme. So our mission here is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers, and that starts like in a household. Like that starts
Yes.
way before somebody gets into their professional career. It starts exactly what you're talking about now, right there.
Right. We can't
Mhm.
expect the teachers to raise our children. We want them to teach them, but you don't want them to raise them. And when Farad was going to school, I had a teacher go to school with him every day. But when that teacher couldn't go, I would go and be there all day.
You mean
Well,
sitting, like he was sitting? That person was sitting with with
with
him, like
Farad in class. And that's what I want to do with my foundation. I want to set it up so that these children have aides to go to school with them to
Ah,
help keep them up to par with the, because that's what I did with Farad and it worked. So I want to do that for other children.
that
nah,
is that is you see what why she is a star. I mean, she's a star anyway, but a star right there. A humility of, okay, I'm going to go sit, not sending somebody else, but she's going.
I went. I went.
You-
And that's why I know what goes on in the school because I was there. I saw it. They kicked me out of the school because I would
was
take up for
speaking.
the little boys that were
Mhm.
being bullied. And
Ah,
they didn't like it. They were like, Miss Mills, you cannot take up for these children and say this to the other little boys. Because I would say, don't mess with this little boy, because they would be bullies. So they kicked me out of school. I took my son out and homeschooled him.
yeah, yeah. Now, how are they gonna tell you you can't speak up? And anyway, speaking of speak up, Brian, do you have a book you could send Stephanie? This is our the anthology that Brian put together.
Oh, good,
And
because we have to speak up. I mean, that's what John Lewis was all about. Good trouble, get in good trouble. And he didn't stop getting in trouble until the very end of his
oh
life.
my God, is
You know
that
what I'm saying? And
yeah?
I had a chance to meet him at a Tyler Perry's party, and I was just, I was mesmerized. I
Yes,
was mesmerized.
yes. That I remember the first time I saw him at the, I think it was the music hall or the Fisher Theater, and I was just enamored. And
Yes.
I was like, oh my God! But he was so humble. He was
He
with
was
the
so
kids.
humble
He was.
and
It was
so
like,
kind,
yes.
but still very strong and knew what he needed to do and didn't back down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is it. That is it. So
yeah,
what is next for you? The book is being delivered.
The book
Okay.
is going to be
The
delivered, and then I'm going to
foundation
start
is
my
being.
my
Mhm.
foundation and help. I've just put together a care package for teachers that I'm going to send that have Lysol and all that kind of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
in it, and then it
very
has
cool.
Rod's book, and I'm sending that to some of the teachers. So that's what I'm doing. I really want to help, but I don't want publicity behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't
Right.
do things in my community to get the cameras. That's not what
You
I'm
just do it
about.
for the need. Yeah,
I
you
do
just
it
do it
for
for
the
the need.
need. Yes.
And you've been
Well,
seeing it. It's,
we still might send a few cameras anyway because like we want people need to
Oh,
know because I think
oh,
it, when people see stuff like that, it's kind of like, okay, wow, I didn't even realize something so simple like I could get involved, or I can like be this, I can do this in my community, so
right,
you
right.
ended up spreading the light, and that's how his legacy, like people like amazing leaders like John Lewis, continues.
John Lewis, Malcolm X, all of these people died for us to move forward. Martin Luther King, Coretta Scott King used to come to my church and give recitals.
oh
I
my
was
God.
and Yolanda, her daughter, and I were friends when she passed away.
Mm,
I saw Yolanda just before that. So, and I saw Mrs. King before that. So, I have too much knowledge and I've been around too many educators not to speak up.
That's
It would
it.
be a travesty, me being around Coretta Scott King and Martin Luther King Sr. used to come to our church and his mom,
What? Oh,
Farrakhan. How could I not speak up with the
right.
teachings and all the knowledge that I've learned from all the people I've been around, especially my mother. My mother was an activist in her own right, and she really didn't know it because I'm the mother that my mother was.
She and you came from a family of six.
I came from a family of six. I'm the youngest girl.
Woo! She gets
Listen.
an award just for that, right? Right. It's like,
Yes,
oh my God. Your mom was
yes.
an entrepreneur?
My mom was an entrepreneur. She had her own beauty salon. My
Okay.
father drove a cab and worked for the city. He was a construction worker, but drove a cab for Black Pearl at night. And they
Wow.
took. I never knew that we were poor, that we were just getting by, because my mother always made sure we had everything we needed.
So you were definitely coming from a family of six, had a gift of singing, Right. So I'm gonna ask this. So does any of your other brothers and sisters, did they sing too, or was it just you?
It
Did your
was just
brother?
my older brother sang, but they didn't make it a career. It was
Okay.
just really me, and I've always been feisty, even as a little girl.
Okay.
I've always, because this is funny. My sisters told me a story where they told my mom one day, she's so bad, and my mom said, "Don't call her bad, because she'll think that she's bad. So don't tell her she's bad." But I've always kind of just pushed my own way.
Mm-hmm. Feisty.
Feisty.
Feisty. That's
Yes.
and it's coming out because I'm telling you, when you speak, it's the truth. And it's because of the people that surround you, but it was just in you anyway.
Yes.
And your mom basically too
My mom would
allowed you
stick
to
up for
do that.
people. Yes. She would allow me to express myself. Yes. I'm definitely a mama's girl.
Okay. That is it.
Well,
That is it.
my Stephanie, I had one question that was just, when I meet people like you that are, really accomplished in another area, I always want to get like perspective, going back to speaking around that. So like, do you feel like your um, experience as a singer has now helped you more effectively like find your voice as it relates to speaking out, and maybe even not just the traditional sense of like speaking professionally, but just finding your voice as it relates to being willing to speak up about the things that you're passionate about? Like, has that, like, are you pulling from a confidence perspective, from a relationship perspective? Are you able to pull on your experience and bring it over here to this like next journey that you're on?
I'm pulling from my experiences. And why I speak out is because of the experiences I've had in my life, what I've lived. So I'm talking my truth from what I've lived.
Hmm.
And that's all I can really do, like the industry and the injustice that some of our people go through. Like they revel, and the Rolling Stones could go away for 10 years and come back and still make the same amount of money that they did 10 years ago. But someone that's of color, they want to put them back to square A. I never like that.
Mm,
You
that's
can't
true.
take you. I have a career, just like they have a career, or Barbara Streisand, or Adele, who can't sing a song live, or Justin Timberlake, who uses our producers and everything. I have a problem with how they put them on these pedestals and make this so great when we have, Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle and all
Mm-hmm.
these other people, Earth, Wind and Fire, and
I love that.
Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? And you want to put them back to square A. No, that's not fair.
Mm-mm. Mm-hmm.
I
That's
don't like
true.
that. And I will speak up about that no matter what. Because
Well,
they've earned a lot of money in our industry on our backs.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And
Oh,
what they do in the record company, or what they used to do in the record company, is use the money that they've earned off of us and give it to the white acts, and do their videos and give them $1 million videos, and then make us pay for it.
mm. I never realized that
Yeah.
whole industry is
Oh, it's
It
just
it's
goes
so
deep.
it's
It
it
goes
is
deep.
that's why
vicious.
I got away from recording, and I severed my ties with the recording industry back in 2000.
And you have your own recording. You do your
Yeah,
own.
I can do my own thing. I wanted to be a free agent. I wanted to be able to sing what I wanted to do, record what I wanted to do, and not have to get in line to be put out at a certain time.
And
Mm.
that's the energy I'm on right now, and that's why I think when I first talked to Pam about Speakers Magazine, Black Speakers Network, like I'm beyond the point of
Waiting for
asking
permission.
for, and it's not necessarily anymore. Like the technology that we have now to be able to reach the masses is here.
Yes.
I think when you have people able to put up, a video on YouTube, build a community like we here at BSN. Like we all have like the keys to distribution, the keys to reach, and the keys to being able to get our message out. is not being held by a small number of people anymore. And so like I'm beyond the whole like, oh yeah, let's get on, whatever like network with. I'm like, no, we building the network.
And you know what I have found and I know people are going to hate me when I say this, but I don't care. What I found in our Black community is you can go and have a meeting with someone who's Black that has a huge platform. They'll sit at that meeting and tell you all day long, I'm going to do this. We can do this together. And it'll never happen because all they're doing is giving you lip service.
Execution.
No.
And I'm sure, Pam, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's
why when so Dr. Ben Chavis is over the Black Press USA.
Right.
So all of the Black newspapers, and usually they're second generation at this point, but the Black Press was all we really had as our voice, really, because we would tell our stories. So Ben Chavis has riled all of them together to say, listen, we can't all be marching in different ways. We're going to march together stronger.
Right.
And it takes someone like that. It takes a strong leader, and it takes someone to hold them accountable. The Black Press USA, National Newspapers Publishers Association, which Speakers is a part of, is like, listen, we're all in this together, and we're going to really, if we're going to use our power, we're going to use it for good.
We have to.
And he will be doing something on PBS, but again, it's his voice of really just trying to reach out to the general market, what he, as a Black man and part of the Black press, what they want to do.
Yeah, because they like to disregard us.
Yeah,
they like to, and what and they do that even if you're walking the red carpet at the Grammys. They put the Black journalists and stuff at the end.
No.
And they guide you away from them. And it's not right. It's not right.
I've had my publicist friends say that they were just like this overlooked
all the time. Overlooked. So I always, if I'm doing something like that, I always go to my Black journalist first.
Yes, that's why I love you.
I go to my Black journalist because for me it's about us. Who's going to take care of us better than us?
That's right.
The white journalists only want to talk to you when you have a hit record or when you do, because they're not going to do anything for it. They're not going to help you become famous. No, they want to talk to you afterwards, so then they can wait.
That's what I love about you. She sounds like George Fraser too, doesn't she?
Yeah, I know. I'm sensing a lot of that same energy, and I definitely want to make sure that we and so Stephanie, just so you know, what we're starting to do in BSN is build out really specific forums around these different areas, because even though we have 10,000 speakers, we have different communities. So we have folks that are experts and emerging experts in science, technology, engineering, math, personal development, professional development, social, political, and economic awareness. And so we'd love to have you back to, really begin to start galvanizing what around this conversation, because I think BSN, sometimes you have to kind of get smaller to get bigger, and I think that's kind of where we're at now. So I would love to,
because I would tell them my experiences, and why I am the way I am. It's like I didn't just get here. It has to be me living and experiencing and seeing what people do and how they did it. I didn't just become like, oh well, this is, and I'm not racist. I don't think I'm prejudiced though.
Well, the power move right there.
Yeah. Well, Pam has
but you got power.
So I want to make sure that everyone goes to speakersmagazine.net, speakersmagazine.net, and make sure that you check out the online issue. It's amazing. You can have an opportunity to read not only Stephanie's cover article, which again, very inspiring, but we have amazing, we have several BSN,
Farad's book too.
Yeah, Farad.
Yes, Farad's book is in there.
Adventures of Farad J.
Yes, that's it. Farad
and he's working on his new book, Pam. That should be done too soon.
Wow. So during this little COVID, you guys have been busy.
We've been busy. I've been writing songs. I've been inspired to write songs, which I haven't been inspired in a long time. And this is the longest time that I've been home because usually I'm working.
I know. You are always on the road, and has you
Because
booked
I
all
love
the
it.
time. It
I
is
love it.
amazing. It is
Thank you.
like no one has a career like you, right? Like you're 63 and you are on the road and packing it out.
Yeah, that's a blessing. That's
That
because of God. Yeah.
yes, that is a blessing. That is a blessing. So yeah, and then someone says, and she can actually sing, right? No tape.
No, none of my stuff is taped.
Mm-mm.
No. Uh-uh. But you'd be
Mhm.
surprised who's taped.
Oh my God.
Well, listen, I am super excited and inspired. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for jumping on with us. Thank you, Pam, as always. BSN has adopted Speakers Magazine, so it is the official magazine of Black Speakers Network. So make sure y'all don't just read it, but share it.
I'm gonna share
Share
it.
it.
I'm gonna
Make
put it
sure
on
that
my page.
people are
Oh,
are
good. And you've got some issues coming to you as well.
Oh, okay,
yes.
good.
Yes, because I want Farad to have this. You know, he's famous, so you know.
Oh, honey.
So
He thinks he's more famous than me. Mom, I'm famous. Yeah, you better get
it's
your
that
famous
age.
butt to
It's that
sit down.
Listen,
90.
I like the you gotta start them young. They gotta know that they're kings, and
Oh, Pam, does
yeah.
he know he's a king?
He is a king. He's
Without a
king.
doubt, he knows he's a king.
Mm-hmm. That is it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I will let y'all go. Thank you so much again, Stephanie. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, everyone. BSN, keep up the amazing work. As I mentioned here, BSN, we are taking over the September issue of Speakers Magazine. So if you hadn't gotten your information in, check your email. Make sure you do that because we are almost full. We might be full over. Are we full?
We're full.
Oh, we're full. So now mind. Well, so for the folks that are in, good job on taking action. We are full, but super excited to take over next month. And in addition to that, make sure that you stay tuned because we have some really, really exciting stuff on the way. Global Speaker Summit is coming October 9th, 10th, and 11th. So if you haven't got your ticket already, remember today is the last day, the very last day that you can sign up and have an opportunity to get your invitation to be speaking on day 3. And so that's going to be an amazing experience. We're looking for 21 speakers, and the call for speakers is going to go out tomorrow, August 16th. So if you are registered, you get the call for speakers. If you're not registered, you're not getting a call. So just make sure that you get that if you're interested in that. And as we always say, keep speaking up. Your audience awaits, and we will talk to you next time. Have a phenomenal weekend.
Bye.
All right.
Peace,
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks, Brian. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.